What's up again? My bad about the last video. I was supposed to talk about my trip, and got a little carried away with the whole race thing. Man, that just gets me. So I mean, if you're racist, I don't like you. No, I mean, if we can talk about it. Um, I feel that it's just so ignorant and unintelligent and ridiculous in every way. So I'm trying to stay calm. I'm gonna have some more Red Bull. It actually calms me down. Caffeine is actually like a alternative treatment for ADHD. It's like a stimulant, which is like the same thing that's in the pill, like Ritalin and Adderall, which is just like amphetamine, which is speed. So I mean, caffeine. Some people actually treat their ADHD with caffeine. So that actually helps me calm me. Actually helps calm me down. Anyways, I'm trying to stay cool. A trip. So Uganda, yeah, that's where I left off. Yeah, then I went to South Africa, and that's where I got the whole race thing from, because they have like the racial issues still a little bit. I mean, it's much better now, but especially in the past, they had some crazy racial issues. So those are a really interesting place to go. um, but I got to climb Table Mountain, which was cool. I mean, it's the one with it's like a mountain that has a constant like cloud like blanket over it. Somehow, it's crazy, and looks over. You can look over like on every angle and see like just everything, like the ocean and the city and it's just that was crazy. South Africa was really cool. The weather was pretty good there too. Uh, stayed this that was different than Uganda for like the people we stayed with were some of the most wealthy people in South Africa, like literally, and so that was crazy. I mean, that was another experience for me. I've never been wealthy, never been like really poor for very long. Always been usually been like right okay, like you can get what you need and education and food and house and whatever. I mean, there's been times where it's been like really hard, where it's been like maybe this isn't gonna work and all this stuff, but it's been pretty temporary usually, um, but never been rich. And I've had like rich friends and really poor friends and all that kind of stuff, but the level of wealth. I mean, I have some friends that are really wealthy. Like his dad has Ferrari, Maserati, mom has Maserati, Range Rover, Escalade, S4, two penthouse suites. I mean, ridiculous. But still not the same level as the South African people we stay with. I mean, I can't even describe how wealthy they are. But anyways, that was a kind of a nice little change from like uh, living in like a really dirty environment in Kampala. I mean, not all Kampala is like that, but we stayed in a kind of a a little more ghetto of a situation. So that was kind of nice to get like a good shower and like wash your clothes and man, there's a pool and all this stuff. Um, Also got to talk with a guy, a colored guy, um, who like in the states you would not you'd be like that's a white guy, but the classification there he was colored, and so I mean his whole life he couldn't um, he was very he basically set up like this whole like electrical system because he's an engineer in like the city of Cape Town and stuff, and so I mean like he's so qualified and educated and all this stuff, but he couldn't do anything with that. Like he had to have other people represent him, and like he had to have other people like buy his home. Like it's his whole life was a struggle basically until semi recently because of this. And so that was really interesting to talk to him for like a day and travel around with him and have us show him stuff, have him show us stuff. Anyways. So that was some of the stuff we did in South Africa. I got to go to a rugby game, which was kind of legit. Those guys are badass, man. Just boom, no pads. Like you can see like the body shake when they hit and stuff. You're just like, damn, damn. Like it gets you amped. You want to play rugby, but I mean American football's better still, but whatever. Anyways, so yeah, I mean that was a little bit about that, and then stayed there for a couple weeks, and then went up to Egypt to Cairo, and Cairo's cool. I mean that's another. I mean everyone like learns about ancient Egypt and stuff, and that's cool because like you go there and like everywhere you learn about, it's like when you go there, it's like, oh yeah, this is where this happened. But like Egypt's one of those places where you go there and like they're still living like around and with and like in their ancient history. Like you like look at the like this guy living right next to the pyramids. You're like, damn, homie, like I read about that in like fourth grade in a book and all this stuff. I was homeschooled. Ooh, that's my next video, maybe a little bit. I was homeschooled for a long time, but so I learned about that like earlier than some people or whatever. Anyway, so that was a really cool experience. Got to go horseback riding around the pyramids. Got to go to the museum, rated #1 because they cheat. Apparently, museums are rated on how many ancient Egyptian pieces you have. So yeah, I think they're rated #1. But anyway, they just go outside. They pick up a pot off the road. And they're like, yeah, this is 2,000 years old. Literally, the guy we stayed with, ooh, he was really rich too. He had a pot that was like 2,000 years old in his backyard by the pool. Anyways, that was a cool experience. Didn't get to experience too much of like the real kind of Egyptian lifestyle because we stayed with the guy who was just balling out the gym. Man, he had like the infinity pool. We had a maid that like would fold our clothes and like make us meals and bring them to us and stuff. And um, I mean, smoking hookah by the like out of the pool and like just crazy. And so then, I mean, we took the H2 down to his 365-foot yacht, 5 bedrooms. Like went fishing in the Red Sea. So I mean, like it's been. I mean, the different places I've been, it's always been different and like very different experiences, different people. He was the first Muslim guy that I've really spent time with and talked to about like his religion and faith. So that was really cool to just get a totally different perspective because like in the States, people see like a lot of people see Muslims as like extremists and violent people because they're affiliated with a religion that some people of that religion that are an extreme sect have decided to do like make poor decisions, and so I mean, it's just crazy, crazy. And I mean, that's another thing that gets me going because it's like racism in a way, because like they're like, whatever. Anyways, we're gonna calm down, calm down. So that was cool. Cairo was cool. Kind of a dirty city, like physically like a little bit dirty, sand blowing all over everywhere and stuff. That was cool to see like a real desert. I mean, you look outside the city and like you're surrounded by like endless desert. So that was cool. And that's something that I see every day, or anyone sees every day unless you're living in the desert. Uh, and then up to the Middle East, the Mid East, to Lebanon, to Beirut. Beirut is cracking, man. Oh my gosh, the kids like my age, like they go to school full time, maybe two jobs, and then they'll stay out partying until it gets light outside. Like literally, they start the night off at a bar for a couple hours, then go to a club for like several hours, and then like it's starting to get light a little bit. They go out to eat, and then they go home, and you're like, oh my, like what's wrong with you people? Like you don't sleep, like you're still working and still going to school. It's crazy. So that was cool. That was a lot of fun. Um, got some, made some really good friends, some Lebanese homies. Um, Good stuff. And then that was my last like planned stop. I was traveling with a guy that I met. In Uganda. We got hooked up with some other friends and stuff. He's from the East Coast, outside of DC in Annapolis, and so he left during Beirut because he'd been traveling before me. So it was, he'd been traveling for a long time. So I just kind of continued on by myself, and so like the last month I've been by myself, a little over a month, and I stayed a little bit in Beirut still, and then came here, and I'm in Serbia, which is random. And people are like, Serbia? Why? What the are you doing in Serbia? I'm like, yeah, agreed. Like it's random as shit, but it's cool. I mean, I'm having a good time. Um, Made some friends my age and everything. And Serbia is a trip, man. It's different. It's kind of like very old peasanty kind of feel to it. Kind of ghetto. There's a lot of street gang kind of like hooligans, like Green Street hooligans. Like that's for real here. It's crazy. And so you get to be careful, like at night actually, and that's interesting. It's like more dangerous than anywhere I've been in Africa or the Middle East. So that's a trip. But yeah, it's a little bit of my trip. Next video, maybe I'll talk about